You want me to start off? Yeah. Well, Jeff's team is very good, and they probably have the player of the year in the conference in Champaign. He's terrific, and he and Tony give them that toughness and the experience that other guys can build off of. And in saying that, like, we had our opportunities to win the game. And the most disappointing thing for me was our start. We have practiced so hard and tried different things. And for me to have to call a timeout after 2 minutes, it is not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. And you're down 10-0 or whatever it was. But to me, that was the most disappointing thing, is how we started. And then obviously Jalen had a magnificent game. And again, he's just started to be with us. So if he came close to doing that every game, then that's something that we can count on every game. You're not necessarily going to get 24 and 16 and 7 assists and no turnovers, but somebody who can create, manufacture shots, and he did well. And Matt's got to play better. He had a horrible first half, and again, in all that, then we found, like, Wendell played well. Now he's got to play well again. There has to be some level, for us to figure out a team, there has to be some level of consistency of performance by all the kids, so you can define roles. We hit on a good unit, and they put us in a position to win the game. And when you go up, you got to hit both of one-on-ones, not one of them. And when you drive the ball, if you're fouled, you got to put that damn thing in every once in a while, so you lose points. We're 11 for 19 from the free throw line, and in some critical times. And but it's a tough loss for us, because our kids, that group, did play winning basketball and put us in a position where we had a chance to win. To their credit, they executed right at the end of clocks a couple times that were big, and they got to the foul line and shot 37 free throws. And we got to do a better job of blocking out. And the rebounds were even, but we fouled a lot. For them to get 37 free throws is, you're not going to win very many games that way. And we're fortunate that they missed they only hit 2/3 of them. So, any questions that you all might have?
All right, Coach, thank you. We'll go to Steve Wiseman first. Steve, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, what was your thought in installing the zone defense for this game? Was it a one-game thing only? Do you think you might use it going forward? Did you see enough success out of it tonight?
Yeah, I thought overall it was good, and it wasn't good to start off with because our effort wasn't good. And we're going to need some zone going forward, because we're not a big team. We're not a physical team. And the thing we need to learn how to do from it is, when we're in it, don't allow dribble penetration, and then rebound from it. But, I thought overall it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. And it's something that we can work on to go forward. And with the small perimeter that we have, it lends itself to that zone. And but yeah, we'll keep looking at. We're not necessarily not going to play man, but we need to add. Now that Patrick was here for 10 minutes, 11 minutes. We haven't had these guys, so maybe we can get some level of consistency now that we have those two guys. Again, Jalen was terrific, though. He obviously.
David Thompson, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I'm just kind of curious. You got a room full of guys just lost their second straight ACC game. It's been some tough moments this season. How do you kind of get them to not hit the panic button to stay the course?
I mean, they're 18, 19, and 20. There should be no panic buttons on young people who have a chance to play at this level of college basketball. If there was a panic button, it would be for 73-year-old people who have coached for 46 years. And I don't have one. So, no, they got to get tougher. We don't have, this is such a young team. It's such a young team. And it's as young a team as we've had for just a long time. And so we can't afford to be down. We have to respond.
Max Rigo, you're up.
Yeah, hey coach. Just wanted to ask about Jalen. Was it at all a surprise that he had this type of performance so early in his return after that injury?
Yeah, I mean, that level, that's a big time game. With the limited amount of practices and working with his teammates, even conditioning wise, because he still wears a boot, off the court. Yeah, that's surprise that level. I mean, I think he's going to play well, but he played great tonight, and that performance put us in a position to win, his performance. And so that is unexpected because we haven't had him. And he's just probably had about four practices.
Jamie Ricks, go ahead.
All right, thanks, Mike. Coach, thanks for taking out the time. Speaking of Jalen, I want to piggyback off that last question. How do you go about with his progression moving forward now? I mean, that's a big time game, like you said, coming off the bench, but do you have plans of incorporating him back into the starting lineup?
Oh, yeah. Well, he started the second half, and yeah, I mean, who would you want to take a poll? And, to me, it's obvious he should start. And it's obvious he should have started if he wasn't hurt, but he just has to, now that we have him, we can make some adjustments in how we're playing to take advantage more of what he can do, because he was a great playmaker for us, and he defended our bucket well. He had 3 blocks. I mean, he had a great game. Yeah, he had a great game. So, I'd love to see that all the time, that level of stuff all the time. But I'm not knocking him. Like if you're hurt, how can you do that? You can't do it.
Josh Graham, go ahead.
Coach, you've had a ton of your former players end up coaching against you. Jeff is the first one to get a win against Duke. Considering that, does it take some of the sting at all who was on the other side?
No, I mean, I'm always pulling for Jeff, there's no, I mean, that's separate, like we lost to Pitt, not to Jeff. And we're trying to beat Pitt. We're not trying to beat Jeff. And so, I mean, he's done a really good job with his team. And now that they're healthy, he did. They have a set group and a rotation because they played together. A number of those kids, they were 16 and 17 last year. And one of the best ways of learning is to go through that, and how he's built his program. And so they're tough through experience. They played a lot of minutes last year and had showed flashes of really playing well. And now they're ready to take another step. That's something we don't have. And the young talent we have is good, but it's not exorbitant. I mean, it's not, it's good talent, but it's not experienced talent. They have, Jeff's stuck with those kids. They look like they got great rapport, and they're playing really hard and well together.
Thanks, guys.
Question will go to Christian Olson.
Yeah, hey coach. Continuing on with Coach Capel, I was wondering if you could give me what you think his greatest development as a head coach has been since his time on your staff. How he's personally.
I mean, look, Jeff's been a head coach since he was in his late 20s. He's the guy who built VCU's program, and then went out to Oklahoma and won 30 games and had the National Player of the Year. I mean, he's an established coach. And then when he was fired, we were fortunate enough to get him to come back to Duke to help us in our program. But I mean, he's an established head coach and has been since his late 20s. So his development, he's already developed. That's why they hired him here. They didn't hire him to develop him. They hired him to develop a program, which he did at 3, helped us in ours to continue our program. So, he's an outstanding coach and obviously a great person.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Mike.